All right, everybody, all you Move, Think, Smile followers, all you health entrepreneurs, and everybody in our high octane health businesses group. It's an Adam and Elea coming at you today with a really, really cool episode. And, we keep seeing, and a lot of people keep asking this question. They keep saying, Adam, Elea, what's the best way to market my business? And the reality is, well, here's the shocking truth, guys. Any marketing strategy can work. It can. Yeah. I mean, Elea, we've seen people, we've actually got a close friend of ours that uses the launch method, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And she's doing more than $1 million a year, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're seeing people who are out there using webinars. They're popping in $80,000 to $100,000 a month. We're seeing people out there do challenges and freebies. And even though I think that's a long and hard road to do it, there are people out there being successful with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So even though that all these people any funnel can work, any marketing strategy can work, right? But there's a lot of people still struggling. Yes. There's a lot of people still struggling to really, really zone this in and to really grow their business. And why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I think one obviously is it's really learning how to express yourself, right? We're going to talk about how changing your message can change your income. And this is a really important piece because I think one, we can get caught in overthinking it. Two, we can, end up expressing ourselves in a way that doesn't make any sense to the person who is hearing it, right? It makes tons of sense to us, but it's not making sense to them. And, really understanding it's how can I make it as simple as possible? Because we are getting so many messages in a day. How do we really make sure that it's super clear what we do?
Right. So what we're seeing, guys, is anybody out there trying to grow a health and wellness business, the first thing you've got to understand is, if you've got a marketing strategy and that strategy is not overloading you with amazing clients, I'm going to let you know a little secret. It ain't your funnel. It's not your niche. It's not your elevator pitch. It's not those lead magnets, those lives, or those lists. It's not your offer. The real problem, it is your messaging. It is the way you're communicating and how you're positioning yourself out there. And in the realm of health and wellness, you've got to do things a little bit more precisely and a lot differently than a lot of different industries. Yeah. And if high-end clients are not knocking on your door by saying the wrong thing and by saying it in the wrong way, it's just like camouflaging your business. So anybody who's out there watching and reading your stuff, I mean, they're seeing it, right? But they don't see your true value. So they don't take any action and they don't hire you. And this is where a lot of people come down with what we call funnel anxiety, right? So they get out there, they're chasing the latest pretty client pipeline. They're chasing down the new latest fancy funnel. They're hiring media experts, social media experts. They're getting business coaches and all that stuff. It's still not working. And it's all because of what you're saying. This is the most important thing we could ever leave you guys with. So if you only got one bit of advice from us, it is about how to position yourself. And I cannot stress this enough because what ends up happening, Elea, is people start drowning in the sea of sameness, right? And when everybody out there is saying the exact same thing, they all look the same and they all do the same thing. I'm not talking about changing your logo. I'm not talking about having a fancy website. I'm talking about the way you communicate. This comes down to not only what you write in an ad or at a launch or a webinar, but what you say. It's how you're communicating. And when you learn the right way to change that message, you seriously change that income. And I cannot stress this enough. But it's not just the message inside of your advertising. It's not just the message inside of your marketing or your webinar or your free PDF that you're giving away or the challenges that you're doing. It's the overall positioning and the message that you're sending your own business. Right, Elea?
Yes. And, this is something that I think we don't think in terms of this when we think change your message or change your positioning. And one thing that we see time and time again, and I know a lot of people in this group can really relate to this, which is just the doubt, the fears, the things that creep up. And so you really want to think about what is the message you're giving your business? Is it, I don't know if you're going to succeed. I don't know if you can do this business. I don't know if you're going to sustain me. I don't know if you can, stay alive past next year. I don't know if we're good enough to have these clients. How are we going to help these clients? I have no idea. Right. And so not having confidence in your own business and constantly sending your business the message that it's never enough, that it's doubtful it's going to happen, that, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this working? We really have to look at the conversation that we're having with our business and the conversation that we're having with our potential clients. And this is why this is so important. And you can't just tackle it from that outside tangible piece of, okay, I'll just switch to another business model, or switch to another shiny funnel option. I'll switch to another PDF. I'll switch to another challenge. It's really got to start at the foundation of your business.
Yeah. And it's not just that's part of it, right? That the foundation of your business. Basically, we call this the high octane fuel, which is why we call the group that ran high octane health businesses, right? Because your business is an engine and your marketing is just one of the cylinders in the engine. You need all the cylinders firing properly, but not only that, you need high octane fuel, the good stuff. I'm not talking about the 87 or the 89 or even the 90. I'm talking about the 104 octane purple stuff that goes into racing cars. If you want a high performance engine to run properly, you got to put good gas into it. And the gas that goes into your engine is you. So the message that you're sending your business, and I can't express this enough, that, basically your business is a mirror of what you're doing. And if you are not happy with what's going on with the business, you got to look at the messages that you're sending in. And on top of that, it's the message that you're putting out there when you're writing the ads, when you're writing the copy, when you're writing the headlines, when you're writing the webinars and you're preparing your scripts for your Facebook Lives and your videos and all that kind of stuff and engaging with your group. Because I can tell you right now, one thing that nobody wants to buy, you know what that is? Nobody wants to buy health coaching, right? Nobody wants to buy health. Nobody wants to buy wellness. They don't. I mean, yes, that's what they want, but that's not what they want to spend their money on.
Yeah.
And if you're out there doing what everybody else is doing, and, you're out there kind of just like drowning, like no kidding, like drowning in the sea of sameness, we've got a giant, amazing floatie to hand you right now. And that is, you've got to change the way you're positioning yourself in the two ways. On the masculine side, where I'm in right now, you've got to change the way you're speaking to the prospects out there. And I would really invite everybody to take all the marketing terms that you're hearing, all the people out there, the niches, the targets, the customers, the consumers, and all that kind of stuff. I'd invite you to take them, let's put them in a box, let's put a lid on it and put it over on the table for a second, because what we're talking about are human beings. We have human beings out there. These are people's husbands and wives, people's sons and daughters, people's moms and dads, right? Best friends and colleagues. We have human beings out there who are suffering, who are having a bad problem right now with their health or their wellness. Now, it could be with their relationship and their marriage is on the rocks. It could be that their A1C score is above 15 and diabetes is controlling their life right now. It could be that they're overweight and there's all kinds of stuff going on. It could be other autoimmune stuff like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus that's coming in that's tearing them down. It could be guys with erectile dysfunction. It could be all that stuff, right? And so you've really, really got to understand who you're speaking to and what it is they really want. And guys, I can't express this enough that so many health coaches, even functional doctors, we're seeing physical therapists do this. We're seeing personal trainers do this. We're seeing all this stuff where they're getting out there and their marketing is just coming off as like, they have the greatest intention in the world, don't they, Ellie? But their marketing is coming off like vanilla.
Yes. Yes.
It's coming off generic. And what happens when your stuff comes off generic?
Well, you're speaking to everyone and then you're speaking to no one. And I think that that's really, really important. And one thing that we talk a lot about in the program, when we kind of take people through these different processes is the rule of thirds, right? So 30% of the people are not going to care what you're saying. 30% of the people won't like what you have to say. And the other 30% will love what you're saying. And so it's coming back to that idea that we do have to polarize a bit in our message. And for a lot of health coaches and a lot of people who love to care give and a lot of, to offer this healing service, they are worried to alienate people. But it's what has to happen with changing the message. And that's one of the big things that we have to look at.
Yeah. So what ends up happening when you're generic and you're vanilla and a business can't create its own unique flavor? What happens there? Well, it's back to that second job or back to that day job. Look, guys, you've got to be able to dial in your health business. Not only that, you got to dial in your voice, not my voice, not someone else's voice, not using a bunch of templates and scripts and swipes and stuff. Because what we're seeing out there is that there's so many client getting gurus who are out there claiming that they understand this stuff. And yeah, they're good marketers. Don't get me wrong. But when you're out there and you're using these generic things, you come out sounding like everybody else. And next thing you know, you're wondering, how come I just wasted my time and spent all that money with this? And I'm not able to get the business growth that I want. The clients aren't coming in, or the ones that coming in really aren't the people that I want to work with. Or they all come in and they're complaining that I don't have any money, or it's just not worth it, or whatever that is, right? That's where you've got to be able to learn how to change that message the right way. And, and first you witness just how you could drastically change that income. And, there's so many keys that go into this. It's not just a simple thing. And this is the sad thing that I'm seeing is like, there are so many different marketing funnels out there being, I'm going to say, pimped into the health and wellness market. And yeah, they work great in the other industries. Yeah, they work great for low ticket stuff. Yeah, they work great for selling books or t-shirts, or yeah, they work great for selling supplements or things like that. But if you've got the knowledge and the expertise to really help somebody transform their health for the long term, and I'm not talking about, getting to get on a paleo diet so they can lose 10 pounds this month just so they gain 15 pounds next month. I'm talking about long-term health transformation. So they don't have to rely on the hospitals. They don't have to rely on the doctors. They don't have to rely on the medication. So you can actually give them their life back, give them the energy that they're craving, and do these things. And they're not buying from you and they're not hiring you. I can guarantee right now it has nothing to do with your marketing strategy. Although I am a big proponent of having a simple one. It has everything to do with what you're saying, the message, the way you are communicating. And when you get that wrong, I don't hear anything. Do you?
Yeah, it's quiet.
Oh, I heard some crickets. That's what happens. But when you get it right, what happens, Elea?
Well, you change lives, you change your income, you change the health of your business, you change the health of your clients, everything changes. It starts working.
And here's a great example. So Amanda Hinman, who we did an interview with, you guys can go to the guide section over in our High Octane Business Group. You can watch the interview. She graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. She had been doing it for about 4 years, and she was out there. She had an email list of like 500 or 600 women. She had another Facebook group of like 500 women. And she was like, Adam, I just can't seem to get this health coaching thing off the ground. So what is it do we need to do? And she's like, I don't want to mess with my Facebook group. I'm done with that. I'm burned out. It's not productive. And she's a very smart woman. I think she's more intelligent than I am, to be honest with you. But the way that she was speaking, the way that she was communicating was not resonating with people. So the trick here is you want to be able to talk like people think. We call it think talk. And so I said, okay, Amanda, if you're open to just doing one thing, let's write a little email. Let's send it out to your list and post it in your group. Let's use some different language. Let's communicate your true value, and let's make it authentically you. If you're open to doing that, let's just send it out. We sent it out, and I think we were on a live session. She's like, yeah, I sent it out about 20 minutes ago. And then all of a sudden she's just like, oh my gosh, I just got a response. And then guess what happened in the next 14 days? She went from charging like $150 an hour for health coaching to having a $3,000 program, and she made $9,000 in 2 weeks by just speaking to the tribe she already had differently. She didn't spend a dime on advertising. All right. She didn't get out there and change a lot of her marketing strategy. She just changed the way that she was communicating. She changed her message, and it drastically changed her income. And we have, what's another example? Oh, Pete and Jake, right? These guys had their best month ever. Just pulled in $56,000, and they work with erectile dysfunction. And they couldn't get past, and I don't know if you've ever had a physical practice before, but if you've got a physical location, your overhead is probably going to be between $5 and $10 just to keep that thing running, right?
Yep, at least.
Yeah, and then if you've got maybe if you do $20K a month, you're kind of doing okay, but then you have all these other expenses, you have all these other taxes, you have all this stuff, And having a 20K brick and mortar business really isn't that much. And that's kind of where they were stuck at. And simply by changing their message, what happened, Elea?
Well, they had, like you said, they had their biggest month ever. And really, they also realized that the process of bringing their clients in was a heck of a lot easier. It required a lot less energy on their part because, again, they just changed the way they were talking, they changed their messaging, they changed kind of the process of how they were talking to clients and patients, and bingo, a lot more clients,
Bingo.
a lot less work.
Bingo. So guys, I cannot stress enough. If you're out there trying to sell health coaching, please stop. It's going to drive you crazy and it's going to send you into the ground. If you're out there trying to sell health and wellness and become the best you and a better life, just stop. Just stop. You're going to, I mean, you can do it, but it's a long, hard road. And if you really want to see, if you want to take this to the next level and actually turn all your hard work, right, into something other than burning out, because the definition of burnout is you're putting in all this stuff, but you're not getting out what your inputs are. And you want at least your outputs to equal your inputs. Yeah. But really, you want your outputs to be greater than your inputs. Mm-hmm. And if you're at all interested and you're serious about that, then you're definitely going to want to sit down with us to have a chat to see if we might be able to help you change that message so you can change that income. Come on over to movethinksmile.com/grow. And, one, you can see some interviews with some of our clients there, so you can know that we're legit, that we're not just making this stuff up. And two, there's a calendar there. Pick a spot. You can chat with myself or you can chat with Elea to see if we can take your health and wellness business seriously to the next level in the tune of, $56,000 a month, or maybe $9,000 in 8 weeks. Or I'm sorry, 2 weeks. I said 8 weeks, $9,000 in a couple of weeks. Or instead of having to chase down people who are on payment programs for $50 a month and their credit cards are going bad and they're not coming across and they're not responding to you, or you have like a 6-month program and they're paying $200 a month and you can't get past the first payment and you can't find them. Instead of messing with all that stuff, when you speak the right way, you're going to attract amazing people who are actually want to do what you say to do, who are actually going to have these really amazing results. And I cannot stress enough, guys, when you change that message and you do it the right way, you seriously change your impact, which is the most important thing here. You seriously have people showing up who have amazing turnarounds. And on top of that, it's a nice business. It's a nice little benefit too, that you change the income as well. So on that note, Elea, any other parting shots, any other thing to say on change the message, change the income? Because it's just so sad to see all these people out there scrambling to find the pretty client pipeline and the 10K success system and, all these things. And they're being good folks are being put through these kind of like one size fits all, client getting umpteen figure success systems. And they're coming out the other side pretty much empty-handed and a lot of times in the hole. And it's just not happening at the way they are. And these very talented people are being forced to go back and get other jobs because they are struggling to make the business work, or they're just hanging on by a thread, or they're seriously treading in the sea of sameness.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing I want to leave people with is just really, taking a moment to think about that idea of it's not just the message you're putting out there for your potential clients. It is also the message you're sending your own business. And you've got to address both of those. And when you do, and you get the combo right, again, bingo, you hit the ground running. Things happen fast. They happen easy, a lot less energy, no burnout, none of that stuff. It's like, oh, it can be this easy. Yes, it can.
Yeah. Because when you go out there, there's nothing more frustrating. You go out there, you write an ad, you put some money into it, or you have a Facebook group and it's just not productive, right? Sure. You might get a hit or a like or a comment here or there or something like that, but it's just not productive. And when it's not productive, what's the message you start sending to business, Elea?
Yeah. Just, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you working?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't good enough. You're not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what happens when you start kind of asking those questions, why it's not working?
Well, then your brain goes down the rabbit hole of all the reasons why it's not working, because you've just asked your brain a question. And as I always like to say, your brain is like Google. So anything you ask it, it's going to go find the data for. And pretty soon you have a long list of reasons why this is not going to work for you. It was never going to. You've wasted all your money. And of course, you are a waste of, a person, and then you get the failure card. You're worried about that. It just spirals down into this really dark place.
Yeah. So guys, it's building your authentic voice can be challenging, right? Really coming out there and owning your worth and communicating your true value. It's not as easy as it sounds. But you do need to learn how to do that. And if either do it yourself or go find somebody, or if, you think we might be able to help out, get on the calendar, movethinksmile.com/grow. Let's chat. We'll see if it's a good fix. We want to make sure you're somebody who can help. We're not in the business of taking people's money. We're in the business of transforming the health of this planet, because gosh knows there's a pandemic way before COVID hit. And I think I'm speaking to the choir on that one, preaching to the choir. So guys, on that note, as far as, the high octane health businesses, that's our free Facebook support group. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're seeing this somewhere else on Facebook and you haven't joined us yet, come over to just search high octane health businesses. We're going to pop right up. We're the only ones out there, or just type in Move, Think, Smile. We'll pop up that way too. You'll get in tune with all the episodes and everything else. And until then, if you'd like to change your message so you can change that income, come over to movethinksmile.com, grow. Let's have a chat and see if we can help. Until then, guys, we'll talk soon. Have a good one, guys.